have the grid for the pit bike vets with John Robinson, your pole sitter from Richard Barnes, Richard Rice in third, John Bolsover, Mark Evans and Darren Savage taking us 4th through to 6th place. Chris Blofield, Ian Bint and Barry Prue 7th through to 9th place. Paul Ward, Stuart Poole, Andy Williams 10th through to 12th. Andrew Whitlock, Dave Smith, Neil Turner 13th, 14th and 15th on the grid. The next row sees Pete Forsyth, Anthony Baxter, Howard Taylor in 18th place.
We're going to have a quick chat with Darren Savage. Darren runs in the open class on the veteran. You can see it's a GP style bike with flat bars, real trip bit kit. Darren, how are you getting on today?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. We're up for it. It's a bit warmer today, so it's a bit muggy today, so track conditions are a bit different, but we'll be in the mix, mate. We'll see how we get on.
Yeah, you say it's a bit warm, it is hot. How are the tyres? This kicks out a lot of torque. How are the tyres handling the hot?
A bit of a harder option today. I don't know why. It just seemed like this morning, tried to run an on, it was just squishing a bit, so we'll see how we get on.
Enjoy it, mate. We're going to have a try quick chat with Chris. Chris, we spoke to you on. How are you getting on?
All right. Really looking forward to it. Nervous, but a good nervous.
Yeah, you've got a bit of work to do today.
Yeah. Too right.
Looks like the riders are ready. Green flag goes up and the race is about to start. Oh, one rider in trouble on the grid. The start has been abandoned. One rider losing the machine. I think around 7th or 8th on the grid. Somebody in trouble there trying to get the bike restarted. So we're just going to wait and see if that rider get the bike restarted. Looks like they're okay. The riders are ready. Visors down. Green flag is up. And pit bike vets get underway. Good clean start. Everyone gets away well, but a fantastic jump there off the gate for Richard Barnes. Got away very well into the first corner. Oh, it's very close into that top corner. John Robinson also well placed. And Richard Rice, here they come back down towards the bus stop. Everyone gets through the first hairpin safely. And here they come through the bus stop. Fantastic start to the pit bike vets race as they charge through to complete the first lap. So pit bike vets now making their way back towards the finish line. All very, very close indeed at the start. And there goes John Robinson with Mark Evans on his tail. Good start there for Mark Evans, making his way through the field. Back towards the finish we go as they go charging through, and Richard Rice, your early race leader, trying to pull away. John Robinson, Mark Evans, Richard Barnes, Chris Blofield, Darren Savage, John Bolsover rounding out the leading group. But Richard Rice, great start for him, trying to break away. The battle now well and truly on for second though with John Robinson and Mark Evans in third. Bit of a battle there for fifth though between Darren Savage, Chris Blofield, scrapping away on the entrance to bus stop with John Bolsover right on their tail. And the start of this pit bike vets race looking very, very close indeed.
We've got some well wishes from coming in from Darren Savage. We had a chat to him on the grid. Yeah, these open bikes kick out a huge amount of torque, and tyre choice will be difficult in these hot conditions. You know, they'll just be chewing up the rear on a PMTS. So we'll see how they get on.
Richard Rice glancing over his shoulder. He can see the chasing pack on him now. John Robinson, Mark Evans, Richard Barnes in fourth. All very close indeed, and Richard Barnes with the fastest lap of the race, 49.421. Keep an eye on him as he goes down into the bus stop, and he's having a glance down the inside of Mark Evans, who holds on to third place. There goes the leader, Richard Rice. The battle now well and truly on, and the man to watch at the moment is Richard Barnes, fastest man last time round, fastest lap of the race, and he is really starting to put Mark Evans under some pressure for third place.
And it's worth mentioning that John Robinson and Mark Evans are on completely stock 140 bikes, so they've only got 140cc, whereas Richard Rice is in the lead at the moment, and Richard Barnes are open bikes. I know that Rice is on a Daytona 190. I'm not too sure what engine Barney's got in it, but you can see he's got the drive down the straight on Mark Evans.
Barnes has a look down the inside and takes the pass into the top corner. Looks like he's made the pass stick. So Richard Barnes goes through to third place for Mark Evans. Trying to close down on John Robinson now as Richard Rice leads them out of the bus stop. And John Robinson, incidentally, with the fastest lap of the race last time round, 49.189. The gap 0.8 of a second as they go through into the most technical part of the track now. These series of hairpins and chicanes that round out the lap here at Fulbeck. Just looking further down the field, Darren Savage then in 5th place, gets past Chris Blofield, John Bolsover, Ian Bint, Andrew Whitlock, Barry Prue rounding up the top 10. Ahead of Paul Ward, one of our race winners from earlier, just on the edge of the top 10 in this very popular vets class. 23 riders out on the grid in this one, as we see a bit of a battle here now down the straight between Chris Blofield and John Bolsover. And Bolsover barging his way through there. Looks like he's gone through into 6th place past
And just
Blofield.
looking back at the lead now, it looks like Mark Evans just dropped off the pace in 4th place. It's worth mentioning John Bolsover, he doesn't race very much on pit bikes anymore. It's great to have him back in the paddock, but he races on CB500 with Thundersport. So it's great to have John back. He's the dad of Matt Bolsover, who's actually winning the stock 160s at the moment. So it's a real family event now.
Our leaders making their way back towards the finish line, and once again Richard Rice glancing over the shoulder. Here we see the battle still developing between John Bolsover and Chris Blofield. We go back to our leaders, and there's no holding Richard Barnes back as he nips down the inside in that top corner into 2nd place. Oh, but runs wide. They're side by side into bus stop. Barnes and Robinson, number 8 and number 2, but looks like Barnes has made the pass stick in 2nd place. John Robinson drops to 3rd, and Richard Rice, who has been looking over his shoulder every single lap, could be coming under some pressure. Here we see John Bolsover. Looks like he is starting to pull away now from Chris Blofield, with Ian Bint, Andrew Whitlock and Barry Prue rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, I think Chris had a bit of an issue going into bus stop where he lost the front end or something, but he definitely has dropped off the pace. But looking back at the relief pattern now, if you look at John Robinson's technique, he is so smooth. He's not knee down, he's not hanging off the bike, he's just carrying that lean angle through, and he is so smooth on the throttle, so smooth around the corners.
And this could make things very close down to the final few laps, because the leaders are starting to close up on our tail enders. We've got 23 riders in this race, don't forget, so it's quite a crowded track. Looks like that leading group have all got past the machine of Mike Hardy safely enough. There's Mark Hancock, and Hancock now being closed on by the race leader Richard Rice on one of the most technical, tightest parts of the track. Problems there for Mike Hardy, I think, who's...
Mike Hardy, yeah.
So Hardy at the side of the track gets back underway, but Richard Rice picking his way through the tail enders, now with a clear track in front of him, coming back towards the finish line, and all over the back wheel is Richard Barnes. Richard Barnes with a great run on the final corner, trying to have a look on the inside of Richard Rice, but Rice, I think, knows he's there, guards the inside line, and looks very quick on the exit. Again, though, Barnes looking to see where Robinson is, and John Robinson is fighting back as they go down towards bus stop. Looking very, very close indeed.
Make sure you get these Facebook comments coming in, let us know where you're watching from. Give our riders your chuck up some best regards and let them know you're watching.
Richard Rice starts to pull away as they go into the chicane. This, again, very slow part of the track. They get back on the power now as they make their way up towards the final corner and the finish line straight. And Richard Barnes with another good run out of the final corner.
John is absolutely wringing the neck out that 140. Absolutely cracking. And he's running at the moment. John Robinson, he's running in 48 seconds. You know, that's top 10, top 5 of the senior classes. So he's absolutely wringing the neck out that 140.
And certainly John Robinson closing up on Barnes under braking. And Richard Rice really does seem to be getting into a rhythm so far and holding on to that lead. Leads the race by just over half a second. But that could be very, very easily eradicated if he makes a mistake. So Richard Rice staying out of trouble as he makes his way back to the chicane and still closing up on some of the back markers as we go into the final few laps, and that could really shake things up. And that's going to be a factor, of course, because one thing, of course, Matt, this track is very crowded. A lot of riders out there in this race, 23 riders.
Yeah.
The back markers are coming into
Johnny
range.
B. Downs, John Bolsover.
Oh, so Bolsover out of the race, but looks like he's all right.
That's on the last right-hand hairpin before you come into the final complex.
And one might say, Matt, that might not be the last time we see riders going down today, because very, very warm track temperature today, and grip could be a problem.
Most of them are running the soft tyre, and with the track temperature like it is now, and they will heat up and they will end up cooking even the harder compound that they use. So I don't think the 140 is going to have that much of a problem. He's not chucking out that much torque. But definitely the open bikes are going to cook in rear tyres. And you can see Barney's right on the tail now of Ricey down that straight. Look at him absolutely flat out on that Daytona.
So we've got a rider in trouble on this hairpin. We're just going to see who that is. The wave yellows.
That's Pete Forsyth.
And hello here to Keith Potter watching from wet Glasgow. Hopes to be on the 140 grid soon. And hopefully he'll enjoy some better weather. So Richard Rice leads the way, but Richard Barnes still shadowing in that second place. Closing up under braking into the final few corners. 2 laps to go in this race. Next time round, the last lap board is now being readied on the finish line as they make their way back towards us. And Richard Rice, your race leader, Barnes, is right on his tail in second place. Checkered flag now being readied, and it looks like Rice is going to hold on. 1 lap to go. Starts to break away now from the second place man, Richard Barnes. So 1 more lap, and Rice at the moment eking out a small advantage, 0.7 of a second, although he is starting to close up on the back markers. He's still got work to do.
Kevin's got an issue with the bike. He's lapping at the moment at 50.3, and he's definitely jumped up the pace. It looks like there's something definitely got an issue with that bike.
Richard Rice bulked by the back marker slightly as they go around the final few corners, trying to barge his way through. And that, we think, one of our midfield runners there. So Richard Rice in a busy midfield battle here now, trying to pick his way through as he closes in on the checkered flag. Checkered flag now been readied for number 46, Richard Rice. It's going to be close, but Richard Rice punches the air as he goes through, just ahead of Richard Barnes, John Robinson in third, and Richard Rice looks elated with that one. Really had to work hard. So fantastic riding there from our vet riders, and very, very close indeed that result for the finish, with Richard Rice just holding on from Richard Barnes 0.6 of a second, covering the first 2 riders, John Robinson, Mark Evans and Darren Savage rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna bring in Paul and Barry and Mark.
So I've got a couple of extra riders coming in. We're going to have a chat with some of
our 3 stooges, apparently.
The men from behind the helmet, you might say. So I'll hand over.
Yeah, hand over. Right then, guys. You want to come and stand in front of the... big smiles, fellas. Right, I'll give the... Mark. Right. Right, are they in frame, are they? Just about. Right then. So, do you want to go through? Barry, if you want to move across a little bit. Stand in the middle. There you are, both through. Right, and I'll stand off camera. I think the sick is seeing my face already. So, do you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Mark Hancock. Barry Prue, veteran 777.
Paul Ward, veterans 14 and 160-14.
And we've known us for a while, haven't we? We've been around a while, haven't we? Yeah. Sorry? I wasn't going to say that. But you've been around pit bike racing really since the beginning when it started coming big. Why do you keep coming back? You know, why do you every season after season, and you know? Really?
It is a good friendship thing, isn't it? Some of it's down to the social side, isn't it? And that, I don't know, mostly with my job, I haven't got colleagues at work that I can have a social side with. So just coming here with the lads, it's part of the social side to a certain extent as well. Plus the excitement of racing bikes, cheaply.
So you got no mates?
That's right, mate. Well, these aren't disagreeing, are they?
You said it, mate.
He helps pay for the fuel in the van, so that's handy why I'm friends with him.
Who does the cooking?
The canteen over there.
Premier in normally. Yeah.
So you're racing the veterans class, but Barry, you're also in the stock class with all the fast boys as well, aren't you?
Stock 160 we're in as well, yeah.
You're racing stock 160 as well.
Yeah.
Brave, aren't you?
Yeah, a bit of both, a bit of brave and a bit of stupid. But it's mostly we race the veterans. I mean, that's the one that we race sort of semi-seriously. The 160 you kind of use as practice. It's and you sort of get your eye in, a bit more practice, then you're ready to race in the 160s. So that's my main reason for doing it. Plus, it's so cheap. It's only an extra, I think, what is it, 20 quid?
Yeah, 20 quid.
To race the extra class. So it's just worth it.
Why do they call you Wolfman?
Well, what it was is... it was difficult to spot me on track because I was really playing leathers. So I went on eBay and found a jacket with a picture of a wolf on it. That's the only reason they call me Wolfman, because I wear the jacket so people can see me, because I quite like attention every now and then, you know.
There was a full moon last night. Were you howling, mate?
I was dancing. I was dancing naked in the garden, moon shadows. Do you not do moon shadow dancing?
No, mate, we don't. But don't forget we're on camera. I don't want to see any moon shadow knocking around in my paddock, please. Thank you very, very much.
Well, that's why we have to take him away to the Premier Inn when we go away. Otherwise, you can't allow him out around here after dark.
So you were dancing around the Premier Inn car park?
No. This was at home with the hedgehogs.
Home with the hedgehogs. Fantastic, brilliant. So we're going to come on to you, Mark. You raced again a couple of seasons with us. You're on an IMAR Super Corsa, aren't you?
Yes, an IMAR, yeah.
How did you get on with it?
I love the bike, yeah. Nice, reliable bike. Does the job. Great. I'd like to be a bit faster, but I think most people would.
Yeah, you always feel like you can go a little bit quicker. Yeah. So what's the plan? Are you going to continue doing pit bikes? Because I know you do a lot of big bikes. Well, you do like a lot of road riding as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And track days.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your big bikes.
Again, it's just a bit of fun. It's we're going to go down to the Boulder, aren't we, and camping and just for a crack. So yes. And
You got 5 blades, isn't it?
I've got a 5-blade. Mark's got a Bandit, and then Paul's got
ZRX 1100. I've got 2, a ZRX 1100 and a Trout Street Triple, but it's the ZRX 1100 that will be going to the Boulder.
I love the Street Triple. Is it 765 or 675?
675.
It's an old one.
Fabulous bike, really is. It's so light. It's like a pit bike for the road. It's just amazing. Love that bike.
I'm trying to talk my stepdad into getting his bike license, and he's like, yeah. And I said, get yourself a 675, mate, and then make sure I'm on the insurance.
We know where one's for sale, mate, don't we?
We do, yeah. I've got too many, so I have a 675 for sale, 3,750 quid.
Mate, this is not eBay. Right, this is the British mini bike. You ain't putting.
It's an 08. It's only done 5.
That's enough.
It's history. It's white. In fact, I haven't got my phone, I can show a picture.
What we'll do is we'll post a link later on in the comment section below, and so you get your business.
So we are ready this time, hopefully, just making sure the riders are ready. And they are indeed on the start orders. The flag is about to drop. And away they go. Great jump down the inside there for the pit bike vets from, look like John Robinson with a good getaway, but Richard Rice. I think he's got away well as well. Fantastic drive into the first corner. And let's see if he'll get through safely. I think there's one of our pit bike vets left behind on the formation lap out of the race, but everyone else getting through safely on the first lap. And another great start, Matt, in this pit bike vets race.
Yeah, that's a cracking start from Darren Savage. I think where did Darren qualify? He was back down in 6th place. He's up to 3rd now, hot on the heels of John Robinson. I think Darren's definitely characteristic in the bike paddock.
And here they come back towards us, John Robinson with that great start. Richard Barnes still well and truly in contention. Here they come down the straight, and Richard Rice, your race leader, John Robinson, Darren Savage, like Matt said, up to 3rd. John Bolsover, Chris Beaufort. We got trouble.
That was a big one. That's
Gary Ewan,
Gary
number
Carter,
27.
Who's that?
Gary Ewan, I think, number 27.
The rider's getting up now. I think he's just a little bit upset.
That's the only thing, of course, is when you go down, sometimes it looks worse than it is sometimes, because it knocks the wind out of you as well with such a nasty tumble on this hard surface. So Richard Rice, he was in good form earlier on today, leads the way. They've got the yellow flags here because of the, I think that's Gary Carter, of course, the earlier incident.
Yeah.
Trouble again. And that is...
John Bolsover.
Bolsover's gone down.
Trying to dodge all the flying pit bikes.
Well, they're all doing very well there not to get caught up with him.
He did well there not to get absolutely clattered. And just out the commentary booth, I can see Mark Evans again push his bike back to the pitch. He has had an absolute nightmare of a day. I think he spent more time pushing that bike than he has riding it.
So Richard Rice leads the way. John Robinson, Darren Savage in 3rd, Andy Williams 4th, Barry Prue rounding up the top 5. Drama-filled opening few laps, and it's good to see number 27, Gary Ewan, back in the race after that tumble earlier on. I think Gary Carter out of the race. You haven't seen John Bolsover come back around again after that tumble earlier on. But here's Barry Prue fending off a whole stream of riders now. It's very, very close indeed. Andy Williams just behind him. And as Rice goes through Robinson, there's third place Darren Savage. Fourth now for Barry Prue. And look at this, fourth through to the edge of the top 10. Only covered by a handful of seconds. And this race for the top 10 is going to get close as Williams goes down the inside looking at Barry Prue. And this a fantastic race here. Fifth through to 10th place. Very, very close indeed.
Looking back up to the top three, Darren's just sat up on his bike a little bit. I don't know if he's got a problem. He's still running in the third position at the moment behind John Robinson, but he's definitely dropped off the pace.
So Richard Rice, your race leader, John Robinson will keep it either on Darren Savage in third. This battle for fourth place though is absolutely incredible. As the leaders go through past the line, Richard Rice still leading from John Robinson. And Darren Savage looking over his shoulder because he's clear from fourth position at the moment, which is still Barry Prue. Then we have number 50, Andy Williams in fifth place, Ian Bint, Richard Barnes, Paul Ward, Chris Blofield, Andrew Whitlock, Pete Forsyth and Neil Turner. They're all on the straight now as Ian Bint goes down the inside of Andy Williams. And this is looking a bit difficult for Andy Williams. We're just going to try and get some footage of the unfortunate Mark Evans, who looks a bit disappointed, but
he looked very dejected.
Yeah, it's not been his day today. It's a bit of a shame, really, because he has been on top form this season, but not today.
No, he's not had the best today, does he?
At the front of this race, we're ignoring our race leader so far, Richard Rice, and John Robinson in second place. 1.6 seconds down, because all the action is this battle for fourth place through to 12th position. They're only covered by a handful of seconds, and here we see Chris Blofield having a look down the inside. This battle for the top 10 is incredibly close.
Yeah, and on the back of that, you've got Pete Forsyth. Pete's never raced before. He came and did a hard bike day with us during the Wind Series and just got the bubble pit for pit bike race, and he's raced with us the rest of the season. It's great to see him out of the bike now. And he's just tagging the back of Paul Ward now.
So he's running strongly in the midfield there, number 74, Pete Forsyth, as Richard Rice starts to break away at the front from John Robinson. There we see Andy Williams with Chris Blofield right behind him, coming up towards the final corner. Richard Barnes in there as well. Paul Ward, Andrew Whitlock, Pete Forsyth just a bit further down. Here they come down the straight. Barry Prue in fourth place and Ian Bint trying to close up. Oh, as down the inside goes Chris Blofield. Goes into sixth place.
It shows all these guys they're all over 45 years of age and they can all still race.
Well, this is some fantastic racing on show here through the bus stop chicane. They go.
45 or 40? I think it's 40 actually, I might be wrong. Yeah. If you ever thought it was time to hang up your leathers, nah.
Oh no,
it's never too late.
And quite often this Fets racing is some of the most hard-fought, committed racing there is sometimes in these meetings.
Absolutely, yeah, they're all extremely talented riders. Yeah, a lot of them have raced big bikes in the past and raced at club level and national level, and so they thought it was time to hang up the leathers, and they found the British mini bikes and back out racing again. It's great to see them out there.
Here they come back down the straight.
Three abreast into that.
Oh, good move there from Andy Williams. Well, he doesn't quite make the pass to Chris Blofield as well. Blofield having looked down the inside of Ian Bint, but he couldn't quite make the pass stick, and Ian Bint to that fourth position. 5 laps to go in this one. This one is still going to get very, very close indeed, as Chris Blofield has another look. This the battle for fourth position, as Richard Rice goes through past the finish line. 48.729 was his fastest lap of the race. Leads the race by 4.9 seconds from John Robinson, with Darren Savage in third place. And then here we go, Matt, the battle of fourth, still as close as ever. Down the finish line straight they go. Oh, I think that must have been Chris Blofield, went onto the grass momentarily.
Ian's absolutely flat out down there. He's having a good look on the left over his left shoulder. I hope the back marker doesn't get in the way. No, they're all a bit of a moment there for Chris on the exit to the corner. That's let Ian just gap Chris a little bit, but Barry's right on the back of Chris' wheel. wheel now.
Back down through the bus stop they go, and Ian Bint starting to pull away now from Chris Blofield as he go through this really technical part of the track. They'll all close up under braking as they filter past number 8, Mike Hardy, who's currently in 20th position, making their way back towards us. There'll be 2 more laps to go next time round as Richard Rice goes through to complete his 9th lap. There we see number 14, Paul Ward, currently in 10th place. Pete Forsyth, number 74, is not too far behind him. So Ian Bint, number 153. Chris Blofield has a look down the inside. Oh, but it's not going to be close enough, and this will allow Barry Prue to close back up slightly with Andy Williams and Andrew Whitlock in there as well. Whitlock, number 101, currently in 8th position.
I was out with Chris on track yesterday, and he is great on the brakes. He's got a full Brembo front brake system on that bike, so it's got some stopping power. So I know he's really good under the brakes. So I think it's a matter of time. If he can get that drive down the straight and get right behind Ian, I think he might be able to get one of the brakes to that first right-hander.
So for poor old Richard Rice, number 46, your race leader, has gone through to complete another lap. He's just going through the bus stop at the moment. This is his achievements are going relatively unnoticed at the moment because we've got this fantastic battle here. Down the straight they go. Ian Bint with Blofield having a look down the inside. And those Brembo brakes working very well as he goes down the inside into 4th position and makes the pass stick. Richard Rice, number 46, leading the way from John Robinson. Leads the race by 3.8 seconds. Darren Savage.
Ian's gone back through to the bus stop.
Oh, and they look at that filtering through the bus stop there. They're all doing very well to avoid colliding with each other. Richard Rice goes through to take the last lap flag. He's going down the straight. Here he is into the first corner. And as you can see, Richard Rice looking very cool, calm and collected on this final lap. He leads the race by 4 seconds, and you'll see just a bit further down the track, leaving the hairpin in just a moment, is the 2nd place rider, John Robinson. Robinson goes through the bus stop as Rice...
It's been a lonely race, hasn't it, for old Rice up front?
He's had a cracking race. He's been pulling away all the time. 4 seconds, which is a lifetime, really, comparing to some of the races today. 4 whole seconds.
Yeah, nice and controlled. He just enjoying his Sunday ride, didn't he?
Oh, he just saw that in the glance over the shoulder. Rice can see he's under no pressure now. Just got to come around the final corner, taking it nice and easy, and crosses the line, punches the air. Richard Rice, been a fantastic day's racing for him, and certainly taking a well-deserved victory. John Robinson in 2nd place. Savage in 3rd. He looks very pleased with that 3rd place. Darren Savage, there he goes. And here comes the battle for 4th place. Ian Bint from Chris Blofield. Barry Prue, Andy Williams making their way up towards the final corner. And Blofield's going to have one last go on the outside, but Ian Bint holds on to take 3rd place. Blofield 4th, Barry Prue and Andy Williams just a bit further behind.
Good to see some respect between the riders there. Shaking each other's hand, recognising that was a cracking race.
These riders, I think, about 1.5 seconds covering them for the entire race. That would have been very hard out there for them.
Yeah,